Hi again, everybody. I know yesterday's episode was transportation, but since we went to lunch today with our friend Rocio,
Hi.
and we took the train to Coronel to do that, we thought we'd start this video about housing in Concepción and San Pedro by saying hello from the train station in Coronel.
A discussion of any topic attached to a city of 1 million people is bound to have a common theme: variety. Just like there are many different types of automobiles that we showed you in our last video, there are many types of housing here in Concepción. Home can be anything from a downtown high-rise apartment to an almost rural farmhouse. In almost every setting, people live very close together. Even in smaller suburban homes, almost every house shares a common wall with the neighbor. Yards tend to be rather small, and nearly every one is surrounded by walls or fences. Bars on the windows, at least on the ground floor, are also common. With this type of living situation, there is no lack of people close to us who need to hear of the good news of Christ. But some of the dynamics of this type of housing and security precautions make interacting with people and making new connections challenging, but we are enjoying the challenge. Concepción is a city with a long and rich history. It is also the scene of a tremendous amount of new growth, immigration, and booming housing construction. The amount of new building in the metropolitan area is truly amazing. Along with all the new growth comes growing pains. Problems with increasing crime, social injustice, and civil unrest are never far under the surface.
Well, we've barely even scratched the surface when it comes to housing in the city of Concepción. In next video, we'll show you some shots from our house. Actually, I'm upstairs in our little sort of office, extra bedroom. And we'll show you what I mean by that in the next video. It's kind of humorous. But I thought that rather than show you more pictures of housing and talk about that, I'd like to tell you a story from our walking pace ministry, as we call it. This is not a story that is appropriate for me to tell you names or to show you pictures of their home. And it wouldn't be right for me to show you lighthearted pictures in the background of what I'm saying. So you just get to look at me for right now. The short version of the story is that we're involved in a situation that some would describe as one form of modern day slavery. And the outcome of that is painful to see at times. I decided to share this with you today because I went to this home to try and help fix a generator in order to for them to have electricity. Seems a rather simple thing to call the electric company, but that's not a situation that can happen here. And so they're having to use a portable generator, and it has broken down. The backstory to this is that the couple that I'm telling you about are refugees from Venezuela. They have fled all the problems in that country and come to Chile looking for work and for a better life and to try and save some money to possibly go back to Venezuela. They've been through a lot while they've been here. They've lived in an apartment with relatives, and then because there were so many of them, they got thrown out of there, and so they rented a room in another place not far from there. And it was sort of a situation that was almost, I hate to describe to you, because when they needed to use the shower, the landlord had to be home because they shared a bathroom and she would lock everything up when she was gone. So it's not like they couldn't use a bucket for necessities while the landlord wasn't home, but they certainly didn't have access to what you or I would think of as a bathroom. Now they're in a situation where they're living in what used to be the office of a factory, and the factory is sort of run down and not in real use, but the office is kind of a house out front, but there's no power to the company, and the building has been tremendously vandalized. And so they live there for free as a means of having someone on the site so there won't be further break-ins and further vandalism. But the last I knew, they only had a toilet. They didn't have any sinks in the house, and you can only imagine what the other problems are. And now today, they were without electricity. It turns out it was just a simple piece, a stator cover on the generator that has it broken down, but it will take 3 days for that part to come in. And when it does, it will cost the equivalent of, I don't know, $80 or so. I don't tell you this story in order to have you make a donation or to feel good that Lori and I are involved in some of the hard things of ministry, but I tell you because I'm sure there are situations in your life where you, at a walking pace, just if you notice, could make a difference in someone's life, maybe in their housing, maybe by just paying a simple bill for them. There's lots of ways that we reach people in ministry, and many of them have to do with the places we live and the ways that we live. And I just want to encourage you to think about those things differently and consider being a missionary in your neighborhood.